Remember all those times Elon Musk said robotaxis were just around the corner? Well, this time he actually brought one to the party.
It wasn't vaporware this time.
Right.
Tesla's We Robot event, it was quite the spectacle.
You've got it. We've got a stack of reports from Forex Live, The Verge, USA Today, even some deep dives from Light Dark Auto and Cyber News. They were on the ground, rode in these things,
Yeah.
even saw a robot serving cocktails.
Yeah.
So buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the future of transportation, Tesla style.
And there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Let's start with the star of the show, the Cybercab. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky concept car. They've already built 50 of these bad boys. No steering wheel, no pedals, all electric and completely autonomous.
It's giving serious sci-fi vibes, and attendees actually got to take it for a spin. But let's get down to brass tacks. Musk says they're aiming to start production in 2026 with fully autonomous rides in places like Texas and California, even sooner, using souped-up Model 3s and Ys.
That's a tight turnaround, even for Tesla. Musk is known for his ambitious timelines.
Right.
And investors seem to have taken notice. Tesla's stock actually dipped after the event.
So maybe a little healthy skepticism from Wall Street.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time Musk has promised us the moon and the stars, and sometimes those deadlines, well, let's just say they've slipped before.
Exactly. But back to the tech. Tesla is going all in on their camera-based AI system for self-driving, which they're calling Tesla Vision. No LiDAR, no radar, just cameras and artificial intelligence.
Hold on, back up for a second. For those of us who haven't quite wrapped our heads around all this autonomous vehicle jargon, what exactly is Tesla Vision, and why is everyone making such a big deal about it?
It's a bold move, to be sure. Most self-driving systems rely on a suite of sensors, including LiDAR, which acts like radar but with light to create a 3D map of the surroundings. Tesla Vision, on the other hand, relies solely on cameras and AI to interpret the environment.
So it's like trying to drive with your eyes closed, but instead of your ears and hands, you have a supercomputer crunching data.
Essentially. Tesla argues that its AI, trained on billions of miles of real-world driving data, can see and react to the environment better than any LiDAR system. But critics argue that relying solely on cameras can be risky, especially in challenging conditions like low light or bad weather.
Interesting. So it's a high-risk, high-reward kind of gamble. And speaking of gambles, did we mention that Musk wants to sell this futuristic robo-ride for under $30,000?
An aggressive target, no doubt, especially since most self-driving projects are burning through cash trying to get their tech off the ground.
Oh.
If they can pull it off at that price point, it would be a game changer.
Okay, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, didn't this event have another trick up its sleeve? Something about a robo-van?
Ah, yes, the Robovan. Picture a futuristic passenger van, sleek, angular, almost like a spaceship on wheels. Details are still under wraps, but Musk sees it as a potential solution for mass transit.
Mass transit, but make it sci-fi. Okay, color me intrigued, but the Robovan wasn't the only futuristic vehicle turning heads. Remember Optimus, the humanoid robot Tesla showed off a while back?
Right. This time, Optimus wasn't just strutting its stuff on stage. There are videos of it serving drinks to guests, which is a clever way to showcase its mobility and dexterity.
A robot bartender. Now, that's what I call service. It's almost like something straight out of a movie. But this wasn't just about building cool robots for cocktail parties. This brings us to Musk's Master Plan Part 4.
Which he kept referencing throughout the event, but we're still waiting for the full download.
Right.
From what we've gathered so far, it seems to revolve around AI solving our transportation woes. We're talking cheaper, safer, and more sustainable ways to get around.
Okay, let's unpack this master plan a bit. What exactly does Musk envision, and how do the Cybercab, the Robovan, and a cocktail-serving robot all fit into this grand scheme? We'll dive into that right after this.
Well, to really grasp Master Plan Part 4, it's helpful to remember this isn't Musk's first rodeo. He's laid out these grand visions before, each one building on the last.
Right. Like, wasn't the first master plan all about proving electric cars could be cool and desirable? And then he moved on to solar energy and making them more accessible to the masses.
Exactly. Each plan has been about disrupting industries and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Right.
And Master Plan Part 4 seems to be taking that to a whole new level.
Okay, so walk us through it. What's the grand vision this time around?
It's all about using AI to revolutionize transportation as we know it. Musk sees a future where transportation is not just electric, but also autonomous, affordable, and accessible to everyone.
Ambitious, to say the least. But how does he plan to get there?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
From what we can gather, it seems like a multi-pronged approach.
Right.
First, there's the technology itself, the self-driving AI, the electric vehicle architecture, and even the humanoid robots, which Musk sees as playing a key role in this future.
Wait, robots? Like Optimus bringing us our morning coffee and then driving us to work?
Potentially. Musk has hinted at robots becoming more integrated into our daily lives,
Right.
assisting with tasks and even potentially becoming companions. But
Right.
in the context of transportation, think of them as a flexible workforce that could help manage everything from package delivery to infrastructure maintenance.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Right.
But this whole thing hinges on the success of their self-driving tech, right?
Right?
And like we discussed earlier, not everyone is convinced Tesla vision is up to the task.
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? If Tesla can crack the code on full self-driving with Tesla Vision, it could be a major game changer. They're already collecting mountains of data from the millions of Teslas on the road.
And that's data that other companies simply don't have access to.
Precisely. But even with all that data, achieving true autonomy is a monumental challenge. There are still issues with unpredictable situations, bad weather, and even just the sheer complexity of navigating our often chaotic roads.
Not to mention the regulatory hurdles.
Uh.
Getting self-driving cars on the road isn't just about the tech. It's about convincing governments and the public that it's safe.
Absolutely, and that's not going to be easy. There will be pushback from lawmakers, safety advocates, and potentially even drivers themselves who are resistant to change.
It's a lot to consider. So we've got the tech, the robots, and the regulatory challenges. What else is part of this master plan?
Well, Musk also talked about a radical shift in how we think about cities and infrastructure. He envisions a future where autonomous vehicles eliminate the need for parking lots, freeing up tons of space for parks, green spaces, and even housing.
It's a utopian vision for sure. Imagine cities designed around people, not cars, but is it actually feasible?
That's the million-dollar question. It would
Right.
require a massive overhaul of our existing infrastructure, and that's no small feat.
Right. And let's not forget the cost. Musk mentioned the Cybercab being under $30,000, which is incredibly ambitious. But even if they can pull that off, will this technology be accessible to everyone?
That's a crucial point. If we're not careful, we could end up with a future where the benefits of autonomous transportation are only available to the wealthy, further widening the gap between the haves and have-nots.
It's a valid concern,
Yeah,
and it's something we need to be thinking about now, not later.
yeah.
But even if we address the accessibility issue, there's still the question of, well, do we even want this
What do
future?
you mean?
I mean, a world where AI handles all the driving, where robots are serving us drinks, it's exciting, but it's also a little unnerving. What happens to our sense of agency, our freedom to move about the world on our own terms?
That's a fascinating question, and it gets to the heart of our evolving relationship with technology.
It is, yeah. Like it's a little bit of a mind warp, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, imagine a world with no traffic jams, right?
Yeah.
Where you can reclaim all that time you
Mm.
usually spend commuting.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, are we comfortable handing over the keys, so to speak,
Mhm.
to algorithms?
It's a trade-off for sure. And it's not just about convenience either. Think about the potential impact on jobs. Millions of people make a living driving trucks, taxis, buses.
Yeah.
What happens to those jobs in a world of autonomous vehicles?
It's a huge question, and it's one that often gets overlooked in all the excitement about the tech itself. Are we headed towards a future where robots are doing all the work while humans just, like, kick back and enjoy the ride?
It's a real concern, and it highlights the importance of thinking about these transitions now, not when it's too late. Like, we need to be having conversations about retraining programs, social safety nets, new economic models that can adapt to these technological shifts.
Right. It's not just about building cool gadgets. It's about building a future that works for everyone. But let's zoom out for a second. We've covered a lot of ground here. The Cybercab, Robovan, Master Plan 4. What's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with from all this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the future of transportation is no longer some distant concept. It's happening right now. And it's not just about Tesla either. This event was a wake-up call for the entire industry,
So buckle up, because things are about to get interesting.
to say the least. In the next few years, we're going to see a dramatic acceleration in the development and deployment of autonomous vehicles. The technology is advancing rapidly, and with players like Tesla pushing the boundaries, it's only a matter of time before we're sharing the roads with robotaxis and maybe even sipping cocktails served by Optimus.
And the million-dollar question is, will we be ready?
That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves.
Well, there you have it. A deep dive into Tesla's wild ride into the future of transportation. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and remember, the future is not something that just happens to us, it's something we create.